Look at your brother Ikenna. Why can't you try to be as responsible as he is? Every time, what you bring to me is shame and disgrace. Many years ago, in the village of Nanka, there lived a great man of influence with a tall and imposing figure. His name alone commanded respect throughout the land. Chief Asenta was a traditional leader, known for not only his wealth, but for his wisdom in resolving disputes and his generosity to the villagers. His compound, wide and surrounded by tall palm trees, stood as a proof to his position and affluence. Chief Ezenta had two wives, Obianuju and Chinaza. Each had their own house within the compound, following the old tradition that a man of such stature must give his wives their own space. This ensured peace in the home, as each wife would take turns spending time with him. Obianuju, the first wife, was a very humble woman, filled with grace and kindness. She has a charming smile that made her loved by everyone in the village. The people of Nanka often spoke good of her. She was respectful to her husband, diligent in her work, and kind to those in need. She was nicknamed Nora due to her generosity and kind heart. Nora is a title given to people who are in merit of such name. Obianuju bore Chief Ezenta two children, Ikenna and Ifeoma. Ikenna, the eldest, was a shining example of responsibility and success. A young man with a sharp business mind. He had made a name for himself in the nearby city, trading goods and running a prosperous business. His success was a source of immense pride for his parents and the entire village. Ifeoma, Obianuju's daughter, got married to one of the wealthiest men in the neighboring community, and her wedding was a grand occasion. Her life was filled with comforts of a loving and prosperous home. Ikenna and Ifeoma had brought joy and honor to their mother. Chinaza, the second wife, was the stark opposite of Obianuju. While Obianuju was humble and patient, Chinaza was often driven by envy. Chinaza had been a beautiful woman in her youth, and her beauty had caught the eyes of Chief Asenta not long after his marriage to Obianuju. Chinaza has hoped that marrying a wealthy and respected chief, she would secure her future and also gain the upper hand in the household. However, life had not unfolded as she had planned. Chinaza gave birth to two children for Chief Ezenta, Ugonna and Ife. Unlike Ikenna and Ifeoma, Chinaza's sons were notorious for their troubles and wayward behavior. Ugonna and Ife were known throughout the village for their disrespectful attitude, stealing, fighting in public, and other bad behavior they exhibited. Their constant trouble brought shame and disgrace to their parents, and Chief Asenta often scolded them harshly. Look at your brother Ikenna. Chief Asenta would thunder whenever Ugonna and Ife caused trouble. He is a man, a responsible man. You too should learn from him, instead of bringing disgrace to this family. These words were like knives in Chinaza's heart. Every time Chief Asenta praised Ikenna and Ifeoma, it deepens the resentment she had harbored towards Obianuju and her children, while treating her own son like an outcast. The villagers often too compared Ugonna and Ife to their half-brother Ikenna, and this only fueled Chinaza's hatred. As Chinaza sat in front of her hut, with her hands supporting her jaws and her legs crossed together, she said to herself, "How come Obiageli's children are so successful and my children are known for their notorious bad habits? Where did I get it wrong? Look at Ifeoma. She married the wealthiest man in the community. Look at Ikenna. He is a successful businessman, but my two sons have chosen to be useless. Even after sending them to learn a business, they ended up stealing from their boss. I can't be the only unfortunate one here. No, something has to be done. I have to act quickly." Hey lovelies, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification bell, please comment on the video and stay tuned till the end of the story. As the years passed, Chinaza's envy turned into a dangerous obsession. She thought over her son's misfortune, convinced that the reason for her son's failure were not their own choices, but some unseen forces. The more she saw Ikenna and Ifeoma prosper, the more she burned with hatred. Her jealousy became so intense that she sought the help of a dark force. Late one night, Chinaza snuck out of the compound and made her way deep into the forest to consult a notorious witch doctor known as Nwaanyinjo. Feared for her dark powers, Nwaanyinjo lived alone in a hidden hut, surrounded by skulls and charms. The forest was alive with the sounds of the night creatures, and the air was thick with the smell of incense and rotting vegetation. Chinaza approached cautiously, her heart pounding. "Nwaanyinjo, I have come to you in need," Chinaza said, kneeling before the old woman. Nwaanyinjo laughed hysterically, her eyes gleaming with malice. "I know why you are here, Chinaza," she said in a raspy voice. "You wish to destroy the happiness of those who have wronged you." Chinaza nodded, her voice barely a whisper. "I want Obianuju's children to suffer. I want them to lose everything they brag with." The witch smiled, her blackened teeth showing. "It will come at a cost, my dear, but I will give you what you want." Chinaza, blinded by her hatred, agreed to anything. She was willing to sacrifice everything to see Ikenna and Ifeoma fall from grace. Nwaanyinjo prepared a powerful charm, instructing Chinaza to bury it secretly at the entrance of Obianuju's hut. The curse would ruin Ikenna's business, destroy Ifeoma's marriage, and bring misfortune upon the entire family. A few weeks later, after Chinaza performed the ritual as instructed, things began to unravel for Obianuju's children. Ikenna, who had always been known for his business acumen, suddenly began to suffer inexplicable losses. His goods were stolen on the way to the market. His business partners turned against him, and soon rumors began to spread that Ikenna had been engaging in shady deals. His once thriving enterprise began to collapse, and he was forced to return to the village, his reputations in shambles. Ifeoma too, on the other hand, began to experience turmoil in her marriage. Her once loving husband became distant, cold, and abusive. There were whispers that he had taken a mistress, And soon, Ifeoma found herself in a bitter battle for her home and happiness. Obianuju was heartbroken. She prayed fervently, but nothing seemed to change. The villagers who once admired her family began to whisper behind her back, blaming her for the sudden misfortune that had befallen her children. Chinaza, on the other hand, watched with happiness as her plans unfolded. Finally, they are being humbled, she muttered to herself, watching Ikenna's broken figure walk through the village. They will know what it means to suffer. One evening, as a respected elder and healer, Obianuju approached Chief Asenta. He had been observing the strange turn of events and suspected that dark forces were at play. Obianuju was known for his wisdom and spiritual insights, and when he spoke, the villagers listened. "Ezenta," Obianuju said gravely, "there is something wrong in your household. I sense someone has invoked a curse upon your family." Chief Asenta, alarmed, sat up straight. "A curse? Who would do such a thing?" "I do not know," Obianuju continued, "but I suggest you seek the guidance of the village chief priest. The matter is not natural. You can imagine your son Ikenna, who have successfully built his business from nothing, suddenly return to square one. Don't you think that has to be questioned? Don't you think something is definitely wrong with him? I suggest you go and find out before it's too late." Ezenta, though skeptical, knew that Obianuju's words should not be taken lightly. He immediately arranged for a consultation with the village chief priest, who confirmed indeed a powerful curse has been placed on Ikenna and Ifeoma. "It was buried at the entrance of your first wife's hut," the priest revealed. "Someone in your household is responsible." Upon hearing this, Chief Asenta's heart filled with dread. He knew that the only person who could have done such a thing was Chinaza. The signs had always been there: her jealousy, her bitterness, her constant attempts to undermine Obianuju. Overcome with fury, Ezenta stormed into Chinaza's hut. "Chinaza! Chinaza!" He beckoned on her, his voice shaking the walls. "What have you done?" Chinaza, caught off guard, tried to deny everything. "I don't know what you are talking about," she stammered, backing away from her enraged husband. But Ezenta wasn't fooled. "You cursed my children? You brought shame and destruction upon this household? How dare you? What have become of you?" Chinaza immediately got on her 2 knees, with tears streaming down her face. She said, "Nai, please forgive me. It's the devil's handwork. I was so jealous that it's only Obianuju's children that is progressing. That is why I decided to make her children suffer the same fate and disgrace my own children have suffered." "Oh my God, this is unbelievable, you wretched witch. I never knew this is how bitter your heart could be." The entire village soon learned of Chinaza's betrayal. Humiliated and disgraced, she was ostracized by the villagers, who no longer want to do anything with her or her sons. Ugonna and Ife, already notorious, became worse than they were before. They had brought enough disgrace on their own But now their mother's action sealed their fate. In a last desperate attempt to escape the shame, Chinaza fled the village one night with her sons. They were never seen again. The curse was lifted after Chinaza's departure, but the damage had already been done. Ikenna slowly rebuilt his business, though it was never as successful as before. Ifeoma, after enduring much hardship, eventually found peace in her marriage, but the scars remained. Chief Asenta, heartbroken and aged by the ordeal, tried to make amends with Obianuju and her children. He spent his remaining years living quietly in the village, a shadow of the once great man he had been. Obianuju, ever the gracious woman, forgave her husband, though the pain of what had happened lingered. As the years passed, the story of Chief Ezenta's household became a lesson story told by the elders of Nanka. It was a story of envy, betrayal, and the dangers of unchecked jealousy. The villagers learned that no amount of wealth or power could protect a family from the corrosive effects of jealousy and hatred. In the end, it was Obianuju's kindness and faith that prevailed, while Chinaza's malice and jealousy brought about her own ruin. As the old saying in Nanka goes, a heart filled with envy will only choke itself. And so, the story of Chief Ezenta's household lived on, a reminder of the fragile balance between love, power, and the choices we make in life. Thank you for staying tuned till the very end. Hope you enjoyed this story. Please share with me the lessons you've learned from this story in the comment section. I'll be waiting for you there. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel at African Storytales by Ebi. Comment, like, share with your family and friends and loved ones for more interesting and mind-blowing story coming your way. I remain your favorite storyteller, African Storytales by Ebi. Bye!